I did my independent study on air traffic controllers. My first question is, what are the requirements to be an air traffic controller? Air traffic control trainees start out with 7-month training at the FAA Academy. They also must pass a series of examinations on airway system equipment, controller skills, and problem solving. Air traffic controllers are also tested on information included in the Air Traffic Control Handbook. Depending on their performance and test scores, the trainees will start at an en route center or tower. Graduates spend several more years studying and working before becoming a fully qualified controller. Air traffic control trainees are selected through a competitive federal civil service system. They must pass a written test, and experience as a pilot, navigator, military controller improves their rating. They must have 3 years of experience, 4 years of college, or a combination of both. They also must take a week of testing at the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City, including simulation, physical, and mental tests, and they must be under the age of 31. Air traffic controllers must have good eyesight. They also must be able to speak clearly over radios and think fast. They also must be able to remain calm. Intelligence and a good memory are also important because controllers constantly receive information that they must immediately grasp and remember. The ability to concentrate is important because the controllers must make these decisions in the midst of noise and other distractions. Air traffic controllers must have a physical examination each year, a dog performance test twice a year, and are tested for drugs and must remain drug-free. Air traffic controllers start by giving pilots flight data and flight information. Then they advance to ground controller, then local controller, then departure controller, then arrival controller. At the en route centers, the controllers start by delivering flight plans to teams and then advance to radar controller. My second question is, what are the current issues affecting air traffic controllers? The most pressing issue facing air traffic controllers is increase in air traffic without increasing in runways. Flights have grown 78. The busiest 50 airports see 80% of the whole nation's traffic. Air traffic estimated to increase 40% by 2017. The modernization of the air traffic control system was due in 1993, but was postponed till 2003. Because the FAA was planning a revolution in the air traffic control system with the new free flight system, which means planes higher than 29,000 feet could fly how they wanted with air traffic controllers making changes only to prevent collisions and delays. Free flight gives pilots more freedom to pick their own routes. It would also probably mean greater capacity in the sky. Some controllers see it as a threat to their future. Others feel it lessens their value. Some controllers have fought against free flight by scaring the public with newspaper articles about equipment failures. The stress of being responsible for the safety of several airplanes and their passengers is very tiring for some people. Increasing traffic increases their chance for errors. Mental demands increase with peak periods and poor flying conditions. Brief rest periods help, but they are not always possible. Radar controllers work in semi-darkness, and there are more physical and mental demands on air traffic controllers than most any other jobs. A recent Houston Chronicle article questioned the safety of the nation's air traffic control system. Due to repeated radar breakdowns, at the Los Angeles Air Traffic Control System. The FAA said that there were no safety problems for airplanes as the backup systems took over. According to an Atlantic Monthly article, reports of equipment problems and controller burnout gives the public the wrong impression. The system is very safe, and the efficiency of the air traffic control system and employee morale should be of concern. My third question is, how do air traffic controllers work? Air traffic controllers have a 40-hour work week, and they get overtime pay for the extra hours they work. Air traffic controllers are needed 24 hours, 7 days a week. They rotate night and evening shifts, and they are employed by the federal government. There are about 30,000 jobs, and it is very competitive. There's a low number of openings. There is also low turnover due to high pay and good benefits. Most air traffic controllers were hired in the 1980s, so the average age is young and fewer retire soon. Air traffic controllers coordinate air traffic movement. Other air traffic controllers regulate airport traffic. In the control tower, air traffic controllers guide takeoffs, landing, and taxiings, and they also keep the traffic moving. It becomes very difficult to do this when the fog or other weather conditions make it hard to see. Then they use the radar equipment to help land. They use the ILS, which stands for the Instrument Landing System, and it sends radio signals to receivers on a plane. These show if he or she is on the right path to the airport. They also use the ARS, which stands for the Airport Radar Surveillance, and this gives the air traffic controllers a view of the aircraft activity within 50 miles of the airport. They also use the MLS, which stands for a Microwave Landing System, and this helps the pilots select the best approach path. They also use the GPS, the Global Positioning System, and these are receivers on a plane that compute the exact position, speed, and time. Air traffic controllers use all of these tools to handle landing and takeoffs. Mr. Lackey, who I had a personal interview with, told me that the main tools used every day were a radar screen, a headset, and frequencies. I have a headset here. This part is going to hook around your ear. This part goes into your ear, and this needs to point towards your mouth. When you want to talk, you'd push down this white button. But a funny thing that Mr. Lackey told me is that you want to make sure when you first get it that it's up instead of pushed down. Because if it's pushed down, as soon as it's plugged in, no matter what you say, the aircraft will hear. There are three main specialist positions. The first one is Air Traffic Control Specialist at FAA Air Traffic Control Tower. And these controllers direct air traffic to flow smoothly and efficiently. And they give the pilots taxiing and takeoff instructions, clearances, and weather condition advice. They also operate the airport and runway lighting systems. When they are finished, they transfer the control of the planes, leaving their airspace to the en route center. The second position is Air Traffic Control Specialist at FAA En route Air Traffic Control Center. These air traffic controllers give pilots instructions, clearances, and advice regarding weather conditions. Air traffic controllers use flight plans and track progress of flights within the center's airspace. They work in semi-darkness and never see the planes except as little dots on radar scopes. There are 21 en route control centers around the country. 300 to 700 controllers work at each center in teams of up to 3 people. Each team is responsible for a section of the center's airspace. When they are finished, they transfer the control of the plane to a controller at the next en route center. The third position is the air traffic control specialist at FAA flight service stations. These air traffic controllers give pre-flight, in-flight, and emergency help to pilots on request. They give information about the current weather and forecasts for airports and flight paths. They also search for missing or late planes. Flight service stations are found at over 100 airport locations. Some air traffic controllers work at an FAA Air Traffic Controller Command Center in Herndon, Virginia. These air traffic controllers oversee the whole entire air traffic control system, looking for bottlenecks or other system problems. My fourth question is, what are the air traffic control steps to land a plane? First, the plane approaches Bush Intercontinental under the control of the Houston en route center. When the plane gets close, about 50 miles, it is passed to the Houston approach control. The approach control lines up the planes 3 miles apart. The planes approach Bush Airport from 4 different directions. Mr. Lackey calls them highways in the sky. Next, the approach control passes the plane to the airport tower. The air traffic controller working arrivals gives the clear to land. If the weather is bad, the pilot always has the final decision whether to land the plane or not. The pilot's first responsibility is to the passenger's safety. The air traffic controller's first responsibility is to keep the airplanes moving. Next, the tower passes the control to ground control after the plane has landed. Then the ground control gives the plane directions to the gate. All of the air traffic controllers involved in a flight has information about the flight plan beforehand from a flight progress strip. These are automatically printed at each air traffic control center. My next question is, why do people want to become air traffic controllers? One reason people want to become air traffic controllers are, of all jobs in the federal government, air traffic controllers are considered the most exciting and glamorous. They get excellent pay and benefits. The average annual salary is $48,300 in 1999. The job responsibilities and how busy the facility is determines how much each controller will get paid. They have 13 to 26 days vacation and 13 days paid per year. They get life insurance and health benefits from their job, and they retire earlier than any other federal employees. They can retire at age 50 with 20 years of service, or after 25 years of service at any age. They must retire at age 56 if they are managing air traffic. On my field trips, I learned that air traffic controllers get a 20-minute break after every hour of work. They have a workout room, kitchen, showers, and a break room, all in the tower. They have fun while they're working, and if they're not busy, joke and talk. Those are my cards. I have some air traffic maps. All of these blue dots on my first map are aircrafts. Altogether, there are 6,148 flights in progress. This map shows all of the planes coming into Bush Intercontinental Airport. If you look really close, you can see that there's information beside some of the planes. When you click on any of the planes, it will give you information on it, like how high it is, where it's heading, and how fast it's going. This map shows all of the planes arriving and departing at Bush Intercontinental Airport. If you look, you can see the planes going in different directions on different highways in the sky. My green map here shows the flights going around bad weather. There's one bad patch of weather right there, and none of the planes are going directly through it. They're all going around it. That's my visual aid. I have some flight progress strips here, which I talked about earlier in my cards. This strip here shows the Lufthansa Flight 441 from Houston Intercontinental to Frankfurt, Germany. And the different letters show the different highways in the skies that they're going on. My second strip is showing the complete flight path of Lufthansa Flight 441. This is the strip that the controller is going to have because it tells the information that the air traffic controller is going to have to tell to the pilot. This is what the pilot's going to have because it tells all of the information that they're going to need for their flight, most of it. My third strip shows the U.S. Air Flight 416 from Houston Intercontinental to Pittsburgh. My fourth strip shows American Airlines Flight 2007 from Houston Intercontinental to Dallas, Fort Worth. That's another visual. For my product, I made a game. You're going to have one airplane for each person who's playing, and you can play with up to 4 players. Each person's going to have an airplane. You're going to need to roll 1 to land on a D so you can depart. As soon as you depart, you keep rolling the dice until you get a card that starts with a T, an E, a G, or an A, which stand for tower, and route center, ground control, and approach control. As soon as you have all of them, you can land in Houston. And that's my independent study.